Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Future of Reporting for Ready-Mix Concrete Operations, InsightGo. We're so excited to show you all the latest product that we've been working on here at Sysdyne. And if you can go to the next slide, please, Natalie. Very proud to introduce Mandy Cherry Daniel, our VP of Product Communications, and Natalie Burkholder, our Director of Project Management. So as per usual, we're going to move through this pretty quickly. We know everyone is busy. We're going to run through a demo after just a few introductory slides. Please note just some housekeeping. Everyone on the call is in listen-only mode, so we can't see you and we can't hear you. But if you have any questions as we go through, we're going to have a Q&A session towards the end of this webinar. There's a little kind of question mark icon in a speech bubble. Click that, ask your question, ask away. We will be receiving those and then reviewing them at the end of the call. And we always try to get to all of them. We can't always, but we try to get to all of them. So, all right. Thanks again so much for being with us today. And I will pass the baton to Mandy and Natalie.
So thanks everyone for joining. So a little bit about Sysdyne before we start. So we are one unified platform, and what that means in our space is that all of the products that we have feed into our Sysdyne cloud, and then so that includes our Slabstack, ConcreteGo, the BatchGo, DeliveryGo, invoicing and AR, which all of that data then feeds into InsightGo, which we're reviewing with you today. So more about us before we get started. So we are a company that has always been at the forefront of innovation from the beginning. We have always been cloud native, and we have over 100 employees. We are independently held. We have over 350 customers, both large and small. And year after year, we've had a consecutive 40% growth. We also have a net promoter score of 69, which if you don't know what that means, that is basically customer satisfaction is rated, and we are coming up highest in the industry. We also have a 95% retention, and 2/3 of our customers have more than one Sysdyne product. And just to add to the Sysdyne family, we have acquired Slabstack in December of 2025. I'll hand you over to Mandy.
All right, thanks, Natalie. So the opening slide that talked about the unified platform really addresses our solution and how we address the challenges with reporting. So we all know that some of the challenges of legacy reporting systems that we have in our industry, you've got data in multiple disparate systems. They all live separately. To get the answer to a question or a problem that you may having, you need to download data to an Excel spreadsheet. You need to run analysis and queries on that yourself. Oftentimes, you'll need to reach out to your IT department, or you'll have to call into our support department, and it will be a week or 3 weeks later until you get access to a report or a dashboard that can answer the question to the problem that you're having. So, these legacy software systems weren't designed for analytics. And so we're really kind of changing that terminology from reporting to analytics. And InsightGo is InsightGo is our natural language AI powered analytics platform that allows you to get answers to the problems that you're having as you're having them, instead of having to wait days or weeks to get somebody to provide you with more information. So we all know what the problems are, and we've built this tool to help be a solution to that problem. So Natalie's going to go through and give us a bit of a demo and show us what we've got.
Perfect. Thanks, Mandy. Let me pull up the demo environment here. Oops, that is not it. So in order to get to the InsightGo platform, you would log in the same as you would to your Sysdyne account if you were an existing Sysdyne customer. And up here in the top right-hand corner, there is the little, what I refer to as a waffle menu. And all of your products are going to show here. If InsightGo is enabled for your site, you would click on that, and it is going to open it up in another window and bring you to the home page. So from here, you can see This will contain anything that I've pinned to my home page. It also has over here on the right, or on the left-hand side, a link to my dashboard. So if I go ahead and click on the dashboard and I want to look at my operational dashboard. So from here, it is going to pull up a bunch of information KPI widgets that we have pinned to this dashboard. You can see up here at the top, you also have the ability to search further by a specific plant. I can go ahead and look at, perhaps I want to look at this for the next 2 weeks or the last 2 weeks, and it will give me the data for that. It will also appear in the top right corner. Click on that. I can download this dashboard in a PDF, attach it to emails, into other reporting pieces that maybe you need to use, and have a copy of it that way. I can also create a schedule and have this go out. You can name it, pick the date, the time, how often you want that to go out, who you would like that to go to. It goes as you can send it to people within your team, yourself, and as well as how do you want this attachment to come, as a PDF, as Excel, or CSV file. So from here,
Natalie, can I interrupt?
Sure.
Sorry, Natalie. One of the things that's interesting about that email too is that when that email is sent to your users, they will get that email that has that PDF of that dashboard, but they also get a link to that live dashboard as well. So going back to getting the answers to the questions that you have as you have them, we don't want that dashboard to just be a static dashboard and then want more information or have more questions. So even if they are on their phone, their mobile phone, they get that email, they can click that link to that live dashboard, and all of the functionality that Natalie's about to show you on the desktop also works in the mobile application, on the mobile device as well.
Great, thanks, Mandy. So as you can see on my dashboard here, I've got a few things that are pinned. We've got ordered quantity, quantities by hour, order quantity by status, as well as I'm showing top customers, top project, and top plants. If you notice that the project names and the customer names are a little long, we are using real data, and we've just masked that information just to not share everybody's information. So we've got here, if I want to go ahead and take a look further into my ordered quantity, at any point in time, I can click on the data here. I can see that this was my ordered quantity on the 23rd of March, and then again on the 24th of March. If I want to drill into that further, I can simply right click on that and hit the drill down. And it's going to give me some options here. I want to see this by my plant code. From here, it's going to pull up, these are the 3 plants that are making up that data that is in there. And perhaps I want to understand what's going on at plant AE, or A8 rather, and I can drill into it further. Perhaps I want to search it by customer code or by name. Any of the options we see here, I'm going to look at it by my customer name. And here I can see, based on that date and for that plant, and these are the customers that I am drilling into. So you can see how simple it was to continue to drill further and further into the data without having to go and extract that information and slice and dice it in a different tool. It simply is there for you to use.
I think that's really one of the differentiators here of this InsightGo platform, right? Legacy dashboarding tools could make a really nice looking dashboard and, could make it look however you want. But if you wanted to find, for example, like you just did, the customer name that makes up the orders on that particular day, somebody would have had to think of that before, right? And pre-program that into your dashboard for you. But in this case, it's whatever your question was today. As that question came up, you were able to get right to that yourself without having to call anybody else in to help you with that.
Perfect. Yeah, it makes it certainly a lot easier than what has been out there in the past. And further to that, if I wanted to continue to look at my order quantity, there is the Insight Pilot option. So this is the AI feature within the tool. So I can click on this as well. And this is a native AI, sorry, I'm probably butchering the name, Mandy, like native language AI agent.
Natural language AI.
Natural language. Oh, I didn't even get it right. So here I can look at, so what would I like to know about this operational dashboard? So I can take a look here. So maybe I want to pull up and I want to drill down down.
We can't see that, Natalie. I think you have to scroll us down a little bit more, maybe.
Oh.
Or is it just me? There you go. I can see it now.
Okay. Drill down on March 25th. And click it. So it works very similar to ChatGPT, where you're using just regular language. You put that in, and it is going to start to build that information. As it's going here, you can see that it's giving you how it is finding that information. So you're always can be sure that what the question that you put in is the question that you're getting answered, basically.
Yeah, I think that's a really valid point here, because what you'll hear people talk about oftentimes with AI is the hallucinations, right? Like AI is answering a question that's not the question that we ask. So the fact that InsightGo gives you the working thought process as it's going through really allows you to make sure that you're not making decisions based on a hallucinated answer, right? Like, this is what I thought you asked, and this is what I've retrieved. And so you can be confident that it's the answer that you hoped it would be.
Oh, and if you see here, apparently we had no orders placed on March 25th. So we're going to go ahead and reset that. And then we can go ahead and ask it. Perhaps we'll ask it a different question. So let's drill down on, we'll select a different date, March 24th, and see if we can pull that information in. And similar to the other functionalities, you can continue to ask it questions. Once it pulls up the data, then you can continue to drill down further and further and further into the data. So hopefully we've got some orders here on the 24th. But as you can see, as Mandy mentioned, there's the language that it's giving you to show you exactly how it is pulling that data. All right. Wow, when I tried this earlier, there
and much like I'll just add
data there.
while we wait for this, much like ChatGPT, the more users use the tool, the more questions that are asked, the smarter the platform becomes, right? And it learns our language about most profitable and largest volume, and it starts to get smarter and smarter as people use the tool more and more.
So now that it's gathered the information, so it's letting me know that it's retrieved the detailed breakdown of all orders placed onto the 24th, which is what I asked for. Gives me my order codes, the plant name, customer name, and the item that's in there. And perhaps I want to know further information, like were there any canceled orders? And it is going to build upon that data that I've already pulled up, and it's going to start investigating whether there were any canceled orders within that date range. Also, when you are building these questions and building these, and they're bringing you in different models like this and different things, different graphs, you can go ahead and save that, download that, and pin it to create a dashboard that maybe you want to look at in the future, that this is data that you like to see on a regular basis and you want to be able to always see that. You can go ahead and create and save those pieces as you build them all out. So my question was, were there any canceled orders? And yes, there were. So this gives me the detail of what the canceled orders were, and gives me the breakdown of that. So reason order 2 was a will call, customer canceled, same customer canceled and customer canceled. So it can give you all of that detailed information that you would want to know about that day. So one other option that we've got in here is you can go ahead and on any of these widgets, you can go ahead and create an alert. So this might be something that you want to be notified of on a regular basis. So perhaps I want it to tell me when I've crossed a particular threshold. So I'd go ahead and select that. And I want to see alerts on order quantity when there is maybe a decrease or an increase even by a certain percentage. And then I can go ahead and create this alert. I can add in a custom message to whomever is receiving it. Maybe you're sending it to ops people or somebody on your team and you want them to take a look at it. And you can send in that note with that, as well as put in an email and it's going to send it. And like Mandy mentioned earlier, it will send that information. It will send them the alert with the link for them to be able to open it up and take a look at what that is in a live environment. on any device that they're looking at. So also, if you're looking at some of your data and you want to understand why was there a dip between these 2 days? Why on the 23rd did I have 922 yards, but on the 24th I only had 187? So you can run what's called a change analysis. So if I click on those 2 points, right click, I can run the change analysis, and it is going to take a look at the data and why there was a difference between that. And so for this particular one, it was because we had deliveries that were on hold, and that account is accounting for the vast amount of all that information. But again, I can, like with any of the other information, if I can continue to drill into that and to take further looks further and further into the information. So lastly, if there's something on the dashboard, maybe you want to just ask a simple question and you don't necessarily want to drill into each of the KPIs, we have the Ask Insight Pilot agent up here at the top. And again, this is the natural language AI agent. So it's very similar, like mentioned earlier, to a ChatGPT. You can simply go in and ask it any questions. So I want to know, show me top performing, maybe I could spell properly. Oh.
Actually, even if you don't spell properly, it is smart enough in most cases. I mean, if you're not way out of bounds with your spelling, but if you're reasonably close to the word, I'm a horrible speller, and I have found that the tool will kind of decipher what it thinks you meant, what you're actually trying to type. I do that all the time. I'm just the worst.
I have found that as well. I have a similar problem. So again, like the other parts where it's drilling into the data, it is telling you along the way how it is and where it is deriving that information from, that it's seeing this type of data in two different places, and it's going to retrieve that top performing plant by volume information for me. And here it pulls up, I've got my plant name, 98, etc. And the amount that was the ticketed quantity and information in here. From here, I can continue, like all of the other screens, continue to drill further and further into this information as needed, as much information as I want. Again, like all of the dashboards that are created, or rather all of the graphs that are created, I can go ahead and download this. I can save it. I can pin it. Perhaps I want to create a new dashboard. And this is something that I want to take a look at. Oh, it's not letting me do that. Oh, I need to create one. Sorry.
Let's hit that create plus sign. There you go.
Yeah, I saw that.
I do that all the time as well. But this functionality really allows you to build out your own dashboards on the bits and pieces of the widgets and the data that are important to you. Instead of using one of our predefined dashboards, you can build out a dashboard that way. Once she pins that, she'll go back in here and show you where you can retrieve those pinned dashboards. And then that dashboard will always be available for you to use in the future going forward.
Soon as before I get to that, just one interesting note on here that we have found is if English is not your native language, not your first language, this will work in any language that you ask it, and it will give you the answer in the language that you ask it. I am not going to try and butcher another language and ask a question, but if you were, if you did speak another, we have tested it out. It will give you the graph, and that would be in English, but the other pieces where it's giving you the detail of how it got to that information and the analysis that went along with it will be in the language that you ask it.
So if you have Spanish speaking users or other, users, they can ask the question in their native language. Of course, your data is in your system in English, so that's why the graphs will continue to display in English, but the rest of the thought process will display in the language that they've asked. So when we open our home button here,
if I want to see, I've created this new dashboard. I should see it down here.
Did we create it? Did you actually hit create?
I did.
I don't remember.
Yes, I did. So this is not a very exciting dashboard, but if you had one, you could add the different pieces to different KPI pieces and add it to this and add it to this. And then you can go ahead and beautify it, if you will, and go into, and you edit it, and I can move this around. I can change the, maybe I want to rename it. I want to add a different description in here. I can go ahead and do that and build out my dashboard to look at the information that is pertinent to me and how I like to look at it.
So if you go back to that home screen, there we are shipping InsightGo. We have 3 dashboards that are default sent to everybody right now. We have the operation dashboard, the batch go dashboard, and the sales dashboard. We will ultimately be adding a back office dashboard. We are planning to bring in that invoicing and AR data so that we'll build out a back office dashboard. And we already have migrated the Slabstack data in here as well. So we will be building out a sales dashboard that combines that Slabstack information with the Concrete Go information, so you can do comparisons of your quotes versus deliveries and that sort of thing. Any of those dashboards that we ship predefined for you, you can edit and tweak those and customize them, but they do give you great places to start on building out things that are unique to you. You can always start from scratch. You can ask that thing a question. You can actually ask it a series of questions if you wanted to. You can ask like, build me a sales dashboard that shows me this, this, and this, and it will do that all at once for you, and you can build your dashboards that way. But we do come with those predefined ones to get you started.
Great. Thanks, Jenny. So that is what we've got for as far as the demo. We'll continue on with our information here.
Yeah, so we have a couple of customers that currently have this in their systems and are using it and testing it now, but we're looking for maybe 3 to 5 more customers that would be willing to work with me directly. I would, what I'd like to do is, get you signed up, and then I can work with you to help you build out the things that are specific to you, so that it can be the most useful, and get your feedback on how you feel that it's working, or how you feel that using that natural language search is. So if there's anyone that's interested, if we could just reach out, I would really appreciate that. And just a little blurb here. We do, we have this is one of our AI initiatives that we've worked on in the past year, but I think it's important to note that we have a really aggressive AI roadmap for 2026. And you can see all of the active projects that we have in some phase or another that are ongoing right now, relating to analytics and better dispatch operations and better plant performance and better, batch control. So we are working on several of these AI initiatives, and, you'll be hearing more from us in the coming months about all of these projects. But I thought it was important to show that we are really focusing on building out our AI capabilities on our platform, and feel like our unified data model and our unified approach really positions us very well to be able to leverage the AI functionality in a very meaningful way.
And lastly, Malcolm, back to you.
All right, back to me. So we are hosting another webinar on April 7th, and this one is a little bit shifting gears from the one that we're doing right now. As we mentioned earlier, we acquired Slabstack in December, and our Director of Business Strategy, Matt Jetmore, who had a robust career at Lauren Concrete and VCNA and a few other places, is teaming up with a sales trainer called Stevenson Brooks. This one is going to be all around how sales teams can get a better hold on what is hurting their profit margins. And I think the way I think of this one is, normally you would pay a lot of money to have a sales trainer come do a training for your sales team. We're going to bring him to you live, free of charge. So more geared towards a sales audience or an executive audience. But if this is of interest, there's more info, and you can RSVP using that QR code. We also will obviously have all this on our own website if you want to RSVP there. So I think that's the last piece of housekeeping before we jump into the Q&A. So again, if you have any questions, you'll see this little kind of question mark bubble in what I believe is going to be in the top right corner of your screen. Chuck them in there. We've already got a few ones trickling in, but feel free to just fire away. All right, Mandy, Natalie, you ready to do this?
Favorite part of the whole event.
Yes. Not seeing any crazy curveballs yet, but I challenge anybody on the webinar make me eat my words. So first one, related to the Slabstack product. So as we mentioned earlier, acquired Slabstack in December. Is Slabstack data available in the InsightGo reporting tool?
So right now, the Slabstack data has been added to our data warehouse. The team is building out what we call the data model. So what we need to do is kind of normalize that data, make it where we can use the data. But that Slabstack data will be available in the next 2 to 3 weeks, and we will build a out of the box dashboard that you can leverage as a starting point there. But the short answer is yes, and the longer answer is more qualification.
Amazing. Is this data in real time?
Currently, this data is not in real time. We started with our analytics style data, and so we are updating this data every 30 minutes. Once we get this analytics piece out of the way and get a base set there, then our next step is to figure out what degree of real-time data and how we need to manage and bring in that real-time data. Our long-term plan is to have both analytic and real-time data be able to be reported from this tool, but phase one is the analytic style data.
Great. So it's not exactly real time, but pretty damn close.
It's real close, yeah. It's
Cool.
definitely more than once a day.
Yes. Amazing. Is there a minimum number of plants that you would need to use
So
it?
I wouldn't say there's a minimum number of plants necessarily, but obviously you need to have something to analyze, right? So I always joke and say, if you can look out the window and get the answer to your question, you probably not going to be super useful. But if you have one plant and you want to, you really want to analyze what customers are doing the best job for you, what mixes are, providing the best results for you, you can definitely use it in that way. The real power comes the more data you have, the more it can harness that data easily for you. But there is definitely no minimum.
Gotcha. And can InsightGo pull data from tools that are not a part of the Sysdyne cloud?
Right. So the way we're managing that is any integrations you have with one of the Sysdyne products. So if you have a bit of data that's integrated into ConcreteGo or a bit of data that's integrated into BatchGo, then we leverage that data from our own platform. We are not currently connecting our data warehouse directly to third-party tools, but if you're integrated with a Sysdyne tool from one of those third-party tools and that data lives in our platform, then we can leverage that.
Great. It's kind of the opposite question. What if I only have one Sysdyne product?
That's great. If you only have ConcreteGo, for example, then the analytics that you're going to be able to do, you'd get the operations dashboard, the sales dashboard. You wouldn't get the batch dashboard because you don't have any batch data. And the questions that you ask would only return answers that are based on the data that is available in your system. So you wouldn't, if you only had ConcreteGo, you can't ask what your best performing mix is, for example, because we don't have access to that information. But you can certainly get top customers, top projects, most efficient drivers, that sort of thing.
Amazing. Okay, I think we'll probably do one more and then wrap. What role within a ready mix facility is going to get the most value from the tool? Kind of like who is it built
So
for?
yeah, this is my favorite question, I think, because I've talked to people about this. The real power of InsightGo is that it is usable by anyone. And so historically, and with legacy reporting systems, you would have a business analyst role, and that's who did your analytics. But the beauty of this is that this drives the decision making, the problem solving, really, down to wherever the problem arises, right? So if you have a plant person and they want to know which mixes are performing, batching too slow, and figure out maybe if there's a particular ingredient, this allows users of any skill set to be able to solve and react to whatever problems and questions that they have without having to rely on somebody else pulling that for them. And so instead of thinking about like, this is built for this user or that user, this is really built to allow anybody to leverage the power of analytics without having to be a data analyst.
Okay, I think with that, Mandy and Natalie, you're off the hook. That's all the questions we had. So we can wrap up by just saying thank you so much for coming. I will, for anybody that RSVP'd to the webinar, I will share a link to the recording once it processes. It usually happens in a few hours. Maybe I'll get it out tomorrow morning. But we know you all are really busy. Really appreciate you taking the time to be here with us today. And big thank you to Mandy and Natalie for presenting. All that said, if there's anything we can do for any of you, you know where to find us, SysdyneTechnologies.com. If you need support, if you have new product inquiries, whatever you're looking for, we got you. So thank you so much. Have a great rest of your week, everyone, and a great weekend. And hope to see you on the next one.
Thanks, everyone.
Have a good day.
Bye, everyone.